भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 14, Text number 18. Sarvashramanupādāya Svāshramena Kalatravān Vyasanārnavam Atyeti Jaladhyaneeryatarnavam. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife. Purport. There are 4 social orders for cooperation in endeavor for liberation from material existence. The orders of brahmacharya or pious student life, household life with a wife, retired life, renounced life, all depend for successful advancement on the householder who lives with the wife. This cooperation is essential for the proper functioning of the institution of 4 social orders and the 4 spiritual orders of life. The Vedic Varnashrama system is generally known as a caste system. The man who lives with a wife has a great responsibility in maintaining the members of other social orders. The brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, sannyasis. Except for the grahasthas or householders, everyone is supposed to engage in spiritual advancement of life, and therefore the brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyasi have very little time to earn a livelihood. They therefore collect alms from the grahasthas, and thus they secure the bare necessities of life and cultivate spiritual understanding. By helping the other 3 sections of the society, cultivate spiritual values, the householder also makes advancement in spiritual life. Ultimately, every member of the society automatically becomes spiritually advanced and easily cross over the ocean of nescience. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So the different aspects of different ashramas, especially the Grahastha ashrama, is being touched upon here in connection with this incident of Diti getting pregnant from Kashyapa Muni. So, in this context, Mother Diti is saying, as one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross over dangerous situation of material ocean by living with a wife. Kashyapa Muni is saying, "O afflicted one, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you, for who else but you are the source of 3 perfections of liberation." Next he says, one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of material ocean by living with a wife. So Kashyapa Muni, being a Muni, is well versed with all the Vedic knowledge. And then obviously anybody who is well versed with Vedic knowledge would take support from the Vedic scriptures for all the acts of his. So accordingly here, of course it has to be very accurate, but here Kashyapa Muni is rationalizing why now he has to satisfy his wife. And therefore now he is giving different philosophy of the advantages of being a grahastha. So this is our nature also. We want something, then we'll rationalize it. So here, but however, these things are all facts. Whatever Kashyapa Muni is saying is a fact. Whether he is applying it that time, then he would have applied to the in toto. At that particular inauspicious time, he would not have satisfied his wife. But he satisfied his wife. But on the other aspects, he is well versed with all these things. In spite of all that, even in a wrong time, if the wife is desperate, then he is saying all this. So much advantages, so much benefit. She is my partner for. That's exactly what the purport all says. And with the help of the wife, one develops a lot of spiritual strength to make advancement in spiritual life. So therefore, I shall gratify you. So in the purport, Prabhupada is talking about the 4 social orders for cooperation, for liberation. The brahmacharya, the householder life, retired life, renounced life. All these, the 4 stages are very essential for ultimate goal of life. At various stages one has to go through these things. And it's very nicely explained by Prabhupada that actually the Grihastha ashrama in the society is the Grihasthas are the one who support the brahmacharis, vanaprastha and sannyasis, because they don't have any work. They only have time to preach, they have only time to cultivate Krishna consciousness and cultivate spiritual value. That is the aim of a brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyasi. When that being so, then who will look after them? Who will take care of their economic needs? Who will take care of their eating, sleeping, all those things? So according to Vedic social varnashrama system, it is the Grihastha who takes care. The Grihasthas, they work, they create a living for themselves as well as they give charity to the other 3 ashramas for sustaining them in the society. So the Grihastha has this task, and he also, by serving these upper classes, upper orders of life, not classes, upper orders of life, higher orders of life, he also makes advancement in spiritual life. Even though Prabhupada is saying here that Prabhupada is talking here about a regular varnashrama society. Everything is ideal as Krishna has planned, as Krishna has designed how the society should be organized. It is not possible at this age to pick up one portion of it and apply it. Not possible. That is why we have to follow what the Acharya has told us, what lifestyle he has given us, etc. How can there be an exemption to what the Vedas have said? This is the way Grihastha should live, this is the way everybody should live, etc. It said that here they therefore collect alms from Grihasthas and they secure necessities of life. Then by Prabhupada says, except for Grihasthas, the householders, everyone is supposed to engage in spiritual advancement of life, and therefore brahmachari, vanaprastha, sannyasi has very little time to earn a livelihood. So can we apply this now in our Krishna consciousness movement? Grihasthas are not, except Grihasthas, all 3 other orders have to make, his goal is to make advancement in spiritual life. That is why you have to understand everything. What Prabhupada is talking about the Vedic social setup. Now we have to apply this to our situation according to how the Acharya has given. This itself amply demonstrates that the Grihastha ashrama that Prabhupada introduced in ISKCON is not this regular varnashrama system. It is simply an arrangement for engaging women and men in Krishna consciousness. That is all. Arranging men and women, making best out of the bad bargain. Men are not proper men in this Kali Yuga, women are not proper women in the Kali Yuga. A proper man and a proper woman, they have their own qualities. Every member of a proper Varnashrama society, they have their characters. Woman, man, what is their character? Today, man or woman does not have that character because of the Kali Yuga, because of the atmosphere, because of lack of training. Nobody even knows the values, how a woman should be brought up, how a woman should be trained, how a brahmachari should be trained, how a woman should be trained with the principle of chastity, always loyalty, chastity, how the man should be brought up with brahmacharya, training in brahmacharya, in shastras, all these things. These are all not there. When that is not there, devotees at the age of 23, 24 joined the Krishna consciousness movement, or when Prabhupada was there, 18, 19, 16, all joined. 19, 20, they all joined. So let's say 20 years. So 20 years, you are not brought up like an ideal brahmachari. So what happens? You are brought up like everybody else in this world culture, modern culture. There is no restriction. There is no proper brahmacharya training. When there is no proper brahmacharya training, our culture is all, in our brain, our culture is all completely different. There is no proper foundation. Then one may say, okay, there is no proper foundation, that's why we cannot be brahmacharis in this age. Then somebody will say, okay, that is why we have to become grahastha. I would say, if you don't have proper foundation as a brahmachari, how can you be a proper grahastha? So in short, you cannot be a proper brahmachari, you cannot be a proper grahastha, you cannot be a proper vanaprastha, you cannot be a proper sannyasi in this yuga, unless you associate every day with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That we have to understand. All these ideal thing you leave. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. That is why Prabhupada made all the exemptions. He said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Now we have to chant and hear very nicely. Then you will see that the mercy of the holy name is an incarnation of the Lord Himself. So only by service to the holy name of the Lord, because you get employment as a servant of Krishna, direct employment. You get direct employment by the mercy of the Acharya. You receive the holy name in disciplic succession from the Acharya. And you get direct mercy from the Supreme Lord. Ultimately, purpose of all this Varnashrama is for what? To ultimately take one to the platform of pure devotional service. That is the goal. Now the Acharya very mercifully start with mixed devotional service. Start with devotion service. Don't wait for all this and then start pure devotion service one day. Start now. Whatever you are, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. On this principle, Prabhupada engaged everybody in Krishna's service. What is this Krishna's service? The Sankirtana movement. Sankirtana movement is a movement of the holy name. The holy name has taken the avatara, and that is the holy name, is engaging in the pastimes. So if you are part of the pastimes of the holy name, all these things are all secondary. What ashrama you are, what this is, no purpose in getting particularly attached to brahmacharya ashram, grahastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram. All these gradations are only, you see, as per your convenience for contributing to preaching movement of Srila Prabhupada. This is what is relevant. Not per se the ashrama itself. In this Gaudiya Vaishnava system, there was not even saffron dress. Only Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced. There was no saffron dress. Everything, it was completely transcendental. Chant Hare Krishna. That was the system. So now there is a particular practicality due to which the acharyas have introduced certain things. There is a practicality of, therefore Prabhupada has introduced men and women to join Krishna consciousness movement. So when you read this purport, when you read this, we should always understand that these are all, this is the philosophy of Varnashrama system. We need to know, unless we know that is the ideal, we cannot guide anybody. We cannot make the best bargain out of people who are in the outside world, who don't chant or who chant very less. They can be guided by saying this is what it is. We can tell those grahasthas, you have to contribute money for sannyasi, brahmacharis, vanaprastha, simply why you are accumulating wealth, your duty is to give. All these things we can preach. But for ourselves, we need to understand exactly what Prabhupada practically gave us, asked us to do with respect to different ashramas. So therefore repeatedly we understand from Prabhupada's letters, Prabhupada various, what he did for the 10, 11 years, what he did in this movement was actually bring to them. Prabhupada clearly said that, the women of modern age are almost like men. Why I should not engage them? So he engaged them in Krishna consciousness. And this is happening in our India also. India always follows the West in all these things. Women are also now in India are also almost like men. So times change. Different times change. It not that in America always women were like that. Women were also very conservative in, if you take 100 years back. Our human culture was like that. Very conservative. The people who know America are just people who have gone from Europe, from England. And there, what was the culture in England? Victorian culture. Women was very conservative. There was no equal liberty. There was no equal freedom for men and women there also. So there, as it comes up with age, it has changed. Now America is, men and women, they don't even consider any difference. That same thing is coming in. Difference means what? There are certain things that women are supposed to play a role, men are supposed to play a role, women are supposed to have certain character, men are supposed to have certain characters. Now there's no respect for each other. That special characteristic of what a man is, what a woman is. So only utility, by seeing how it can contribute to my service to my spiritual master, one has to engage in different ashramas and fulfill the preaching mission of Prabhupada. That is a goal. So all kinds of, one should not use all kinds of concocted reason that now I am a brahmachari, I am affected by lusty desire, so I will marry. No. A brahmachari, when he is trained, his lust is also controlled. Then he goes into, here the reason given is, my lust is uncontrolled, therefore I shall marry. That is not at all the principle of getting married. Such a wrong conception. If one has got unrestricted, mind cannot be controlled at all, then he will be a failure as Grahastha also. There is no point. All these facilities you don't get. Which one? This facility. As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of material ocean by living with a wife. If you have no control over your mind, if you have no control over lusty desires, you may have one wife or 10 wives. It will not make any difference, because the mind will go crazy. You lust over every woman. This is applicable to the person who has already controlled as per his brahmacharya training, does not look upon another woman as sense object, except his wife, who is given to him or it is sanctioned to him. There, in that, if he follows all those things here, with the overall understanding of what is this order of life, then living with a wife is a protection. Otherwise it doesn't make any difference. So today, where is that brahmachari who is coming in the Gurukula and staying in the Guru and teaching, learning all the values and coming out with all the principles of sense control? How is he coming? Not possible. Not there. But at the same time, we need not become desperate. We got a shortcut. And that shortcut is to chant Hare Krishna, follow the Prabhupada's lifestyle that he has given, become peaceful, and engage in devotion service. Don't put too much confidence in all these things. If I am a brahmachari, that is purity. If I am a grahastha, I am pure, that is purity, all these things. All these things is not, purity is in the mind. And that purity in the mind, every day we have to create by chanting Hare Krishna and Sankirtan. Every day we have to create that purity. the atmosphere is fully impure. Modern culture is an impure atmosphere. Because a social culture, social atmosphere will drag us. We are a social being. When we are in this modern world, it will drag us, it will take us. So therefore we associate very minimum with the outside society or karmis, or we associate very little. Whatever is required for Krishna consciousness, preaching, we associate with them. And then we spend our time in the association of Vaishnavas, chant Hare Krishna, free ourselves of all the impurities, all the anarthas that are there in the art, which is promised as per the system of that given by the Guru. Do the sadhana properly, all anartha nivritti will happen. Then you become fixed up in devotion service. All these things, that's more, you're fixed up in devotion service rather than in pleasure. That pleasure, sense pleasure, social pleasure, pleasure for the body, pleasure for the mind, pleasure for the intellect, pleasure for the false ego, all these things you are not interested. You understand that the pleasure of devotion service, the pleasure of giving pleasure to Krishna supersedes everything. First it is at understanding level, and then by practicing slowly taste comes. Yeah, because in reality it is a higher pleasure than all other pleasures. It is more constitutional pleasure of the soul. All these things, ahankara, pleasure, all these things are all material pleasures. So our goal is very, very, very clear. We take a shortcut, chant nicely, and follow the lifestyle given by Prabhupada, we will become purified. You don't have by chance to become grahastha or sannyasi or whatever. That is all circumstantial. Don't take that as a biggest milestone in your life or anything. Your biggest milestone is every day to chant Hare Krishna. All these things circumstantially happen. Sometimes our karma and all these things are so much that if somebody is destined, somebody is fixed, very deep karma is there, he may go through an ashrama. Otherwise somebody else will cut across that ashrama. It all depends. So many things. So one particular ashrama, what is you have to see is, what is your desire to preach and make advancement in spiritual life? Two things. What is your desire to make a personal advancement? What is your desire to contribute to your Guru's mission, service to his Guru's mission? Pariprashnena sevaya. These two things, seva and pariprashna. Knowledge, transcendental knowledge, making advancement in spiritual life. So that should be our goal in our Krishna consciousness movement. So there is nothing. Otherwise, if you don't understand this, one will get thoroughly confused. Kali Yuga, what to do? See what Prabhupada is saying in this purport. So nothing is ideal, so everything is hopeless. What can we do? No, it's not hopeless. In fact, modern, if one comes to Krishna consciousness movement, his hope multiplies 1,000-fold. With hope. Even in other yugas, immediately, let us say you want to make advancement in spiritual life, you have to go through all the slow processes, the pravritti marga. Here is, even if you are a grahastha, you are given a nivritti marga. It is never heard of a grahastha getting nivritti marga. That is because here everybody is taken care by the deities. Prabhupada says, if you live like a brahmana, brahmana grahastha, you can live off the temple. There is no anxiety. Husband, wife, children, everybody engage in Krishna service. So it's a super mercy that is given by Prabhupada by establishing this Krishna consciousness movement. But we have to understand the spirit of it and apply it, and not take things just out of context and try to rationalize any of our decision based on some so-called ideal, in this yuga, ideal varnashrama system. It doesn't work. Therefore, Prabhupada, in the end of his life, he was telling that, see, you have to establish a varnashrama system, and not in the cities. In the cities you cannot, because his already foundation is wrong. So he said, establish varnashrama system, which can be only based on land, cows, agriculture, go, krishi, only based on that. That we have to prove to the world. There can be, in that, the Vaishnavas, who are neither grahasthas nor brahmacharis nor vanaprastha, they don't identify with any of the four varnas and four ashramas. They don't. Vaishnavas are Vaishnavas. Prabhupada says, Vaishnavas become Vaishnava and then you play a role of grahastha, play a role of vanaprastha, play a role of, don't identify yourself with that. When you play a role for what? To set up an ideal community, to show to the outside world how you can. That's called Daiva Varnashram. How with Krishna as a center, with devotion service as a center, still these ashramas are the way of organizing. The society of Vaishnavas can be organized in this particular way. It is possible. Which is a big challenge, which is the Maya culture, the material atmosphere now is the biggest challenge for setting anything like that. It does not necessarily, Varnashrama community does not necessarily mean some sustainable agriculture. What about all the interactions between various Varnas and ashramas within the society? All those things, an ideal Varna, a very big challenge. You need a Kshatriya king. You need a very powerful Brahmana. One powerful Brahmana and one powerful Kshatriya king is enough to lay the seed for a Varnashrama society. It has to be empowered. It can be done if there are Vaishnavas or if there are people who are Krishna conscious. Any questions? जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद